Jackson. On behalf of my co-hosts Isaac Simpson and Maria Perry, I'd like to welcome you to this episode of Short on Shorts. Our special guest reviewer this week is Hilary Barraford, a writer, producer, and actor who has appeared on United States of Terra and in John Sayles' 2013 film Go for Sisters. And today we're reviewing We'll Find Something, directed by Casey Gooden. Make sure to check it out before watching our review. The link is in the description below. Enjoy the movie and our review.
Hilary's pick is We'll Find Something by Casey Gooden and starring Shane Carruth, who is a big lo-fi sci-fi filmmaker / actor who was in another short that we reviewed on here called Everything. Thank you. This is a non-sci-fi short, however, about something that all of us in relationships go through, which is the endless decision-making that goes into finding somewhere to eat. Definitely related to this one.
Yeah.
So, Hilary, why did you pick it?
Well, I picked it for two reasons. First, this definitely happened to me, and it happened in New York, and it happened a couple of years ago with an ex-boyfriend who had a lot of hanger issues, among other issues, but hanger that day, took the center stage. And I remember just walking around with him and walking around New York and just getting increasingly angrier and angrier. And finally, after an hour, I remember he looked across the street and he was like, "Oh, good, there's a Chipotle. Let's just go to Chipotle." And I was like, "No, we're not going to Chipotle. I just came in from Los Angeles, California, where I don't go to Chipotle. And I'm not going to a Chipotle in New York. It is not happening." And we got in this huge fight, and yeah, that relationship ended, needless to say. So the first reason I chose this, because I totally related. And the second reason is because I loved it. I just thought it was really cool, it was well done, it was well shot, I like the dialogue, and it's the kind of stuff that I love to do. As an actor, as a writer, as a producer, I just love this kind of stuff that starts real small and mundane and just sort of grows and sort of explodes from there. So I thought it was great.
And now thank you for bringing this to us.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this too. There is a little bit of a novelty. I mean, anybody who has watched Shane Carruth's career at all, I think there's a little bit of a novelty to this film because it's so normal.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was sure aliens were going to break in some way, in some very subtle way, which is what happened. They were both aliens the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah, and they turned to dust.
I thought it was a little. I also thought it was a little bit ironic that those two particular actors were playing what seemed to me to be obviously LA people.
Right.
They're like the two. They're so almost stereotypically indie.
Yeah.
And yet they're playing these two people who are clearly, I don't do carbs.
Yeah.
They were playing sort of LA stereotypes.
Well, that's why it made me love Shane Carruth twice as much as I already did. I have like a serious man crush on Shane Carruth. He's like, he is so cool. Like his career.
He's a mythic figure.
His career is exactly what you should do. He does no bullshit. He doesn't sell out, and he only makes the things that he really wants to make. And it's just so great. And it was so cool to see him in this.
Yeah.
And I heard they shot it in just one day. So they shot it in 12 hours. And that was it.
Really?
Yeah.
So that to me even speaks more volumes about the actors to be able to like jump into that and own it
that
and,
probably
and
helped.
shoot that whole thing in 12
Well, I
hours.
think they were probably very comfortable with each other because
she was in
they were in
Upstream
Upstream Color.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think they might even be a couple or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
She's the showrunner of Girlfriend Experience, right?
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure she's the show.
so.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Love Starterbug and Girlfriend Experience.
Yes, the TV show. So.
Yeah,
Right.
not the movie. The movies don't have showrunners, it turns out.
As it turns out.
Anyway, so as a movie, though, I actually didn't like this that much because it started out with so much promise. It was the best premise for a comedy short ever, right? This thing that we all go through. Me and my girlfriend have been through this daily. We walk around in circles for hours on end, and we can't decide where to go.
Right? This was always going to be a movie about these two people, their last night in New York, trying desperately to find something to eat, which is so ironic. Because if you've ever lived in New York, you know that not only are there restaurants on every single block, but I don't know if they still do this, but they used to actually pay businesses to stay open 24 hours a day. So it was a safety thing. So no matter what time of day, no matter where you are in Manhattan, you can always find something open to get food. And I think that was always just going to be the premise, and then it was just a bunch of things that happened to happen while they were trying to find food, right? So they added the thing about the low blood sugar.
What
and
was that though?
Well, they hadn't eaten, right? So they're
Yeah, that was weird. It's weird to like prick your finger in the middle of an
But did
excursion
one
to
of them
find
have
food, but-
diabetes? What was that supposed to be?
I think there's the whole thing about him like ranting about like apparently you can have too much protein. So I feel like they're the type of people who monitor their bodies to make sure they're getting all the nutrients they need since they're cutting all this stuff out of their diets.
I thought one of them was supposed to have diabetes because that's like a diabetes thing.
Yeah. But I think Maria's right. I mean, he goes on in the beginning about how I had no idea he could get fat from eating protein, right? So this is obviously a very health conscious person, like to an
So
extreme
you think
level.
he has one of those things without having
Well,
diabetes?
You
Also
can buy
very,
them at
also very
Target.
OCD.
Yes,
like-
incredibly OCD.
Clearly. So that definitely adds to the comedy for me, just like
Sure.
that personality type.
Sure. And
Yeah.
and there were lots of just little fun bits where like he's getting on her case about mumbling and how he's going to stop saying what.
And then immediately says what? The first
and then he
the
says
next
what,
word out of his mouth
and
is
then
what?
and she says she doesn't mumble, but then the next thing she does is go, "Meh."
Yeah.
And he's
It
like,
was so good.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I was laughing out loud for the first half, and then
Right.
the diabetes thing happened, and then it got like serious, and the music got emotional, and I was like, and then it ended up being like this sort of cute romantic thing in the end, and I was like, they should have like descended into hell. And like died at the end. You know what I mean? It should have just gotten worse and worse.
I think they did though.
Oh, that's
I think they did descend into hell.
by
I don't think
by
that-
having to settle
By
for the food
continuing
court.
the relationship.
that couple's not coming back. I don't think. Like
Yeah.
I think it's maybe not the next day, but
He's
They're
going
over?
He's
Yeah.
going to
They're
LA.
over?
She's going to Toronto.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
that ended their
Exactly.
relationship.
But I just thought it was
Yeah.
a lot of it felt improvised to me.
Yeah.
You know, which I would, I think that he does that a lot. He's very used to that, Shane Carruth. I think, I don't know that for sure, but that's the vibe I get. And I think they were just riffing off, what are the different things that couples would struggle with while they're trying to find something to eat in the easiest place in the freaking universe to find something to eat.
Yeah, and there's the lines.
But
and
something
it's
good to
nothing's
eat.
perfect.
is
Something
hard.
good to eat.
Yeah.
Something with
That's the
no
problem.
carbs.
Like, you could do like fast food, but
Yeah, like we
Like-
can do the pork sausage. We
Yeah.
can do the pork meatballs, but no
But
no
not
rice.
the
Yeah, yeah,
noodles.
not the
No
noodles, not the
noodles.
noodles, not the noodles.
I think the worst part for me, like, I found this incredibly frustrating to watch because they went into so many restaurants where they could have eaten and they were like, oh, the wait is like 30 minutes, let's leave. I'm like, you're gonna be walking for the next 12 minutes
But
in this
that's
short.
what
What if you
happens.
didn't?
I know,
so
that
is
is
what
what
happens. You're
happens.
like, okay, maybe we can find something better, and then it's slightly longer, and it turns into this hangry.
yeah, because you always think you can do better
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
what you have right in front
And
of
I
you.
love that they wound up ultimately eating a Kit Kat.
Yeah.
After
right.
all of that,
Yeah.
they eat a Kit
Sharing.
Kat.
Well, no, they decided to go to the airport and eat the food
Oh,
at
I
the
know,
airport.
but
Like, that's not
the
really...
bridge was a Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. The peace offering was a Kit Kat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool short, worth it for Shane Carruth at the very least in a comedy role for the first time.
And
ever.
straight, pretty, it's a pretty, it's not a, it's a
not
basically
weird.
realistic piece.